welcome to Ray Presents. I'm very excited today. I have a special guest. It's Cici Moya. Thank you for being here with me. All right. For those of you who don't know, Cici Moya is a mom to a beautiful daughter named Ruby. She is also a media personality, a beauty and lifestyle digital content creator that boasts over 16,000 subscribers on YouTube and 14,000 followers on Instagram. She is a natural remedies advocate who regularly shares with her fan base natural health remedies, self-care, and discussions about the joys and pains of life. She is a multifaceted storyteller. She can be found hosting red carpet events, on television shows, and as a special guest or an actress in corporate videos and commercials. Cici, thank you for being with me once again.
Wow, thank you for having me. What an intro.
Hey,
I feel more
thank
important
you.
than I am.
Listen, it's been a while since I've seen you, but it's nice to reconnect, at least virtually. So good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So you've been in the social media game for over 10 years, if I remember correctly. So can you tell me how and why you got started?
Wow. I would say I didn't start as someone who had it as a goal to be like a social media presence or, anything specific, but it was organic, I would say. Very impromptu. I was just making videos on Facebook at the time. It was all on Facebook. All these other little guys, started popping up later on, the Twitters and the Instagrams and the TikToks. But at first, it was all going down on Facebook. So 10 years ago, I think it was, I think just on my private page, just adding people who I met along the way. I've lived in so many different cities, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, New York, or when I was traveling, I was always adding people on my Facebook. So eventually I kind of grew, I wouldn't call it a following because it was a two-way street. You had to accept friend requests or send friend requests. You still do, but I didn't have a public page. So it was all
Hmm.
private. And at the time, my background, I was very, involved in the gospel scene. So it was mainly to like share whatever I was thinking in terms of, the Bible or just Christianity. And then it turned into more of a space for me to explore even like my comedic side. So I started sharing videos of me just fooling around, just, making accents or just joking, just being myself and joking around and acting silly. But it was mainly just for the people that I knew and who knew me. It wasn't for, the world or the public. And people started sharing my videos with each other. And
Hmm.
then I think the one that really blew up, it would have been like, I think in 2013, 2012, around those times. And I think I was just doing accents. I think I was imitating Montreal guys. And I was acting a fool. And that video just kept getting shared and shared and shared. And I was like, whoa, there's something there. So then I created a public page. And then that way people could share my videos freely. I didn't have to worry about privacy settings or whatever, right? So then when I created my public figure page, I also posted another one that went really viral. So that's when I did a
Hmm.
Marie Simone video, which is my grandma,
Your
essentially,
alter.
my
Okay,
alter
okay.
ego.
Your alter ego.
Right.
Yes.
And that video just blew up. When I say blew up, I think it had at least 1 million views in just a few months, like under 2 or 3 months
Wow.
in total, because other pages started sharing them. So that's how
Hmm.
it really started. It was just silly videos for fun that took off just because people started sharing them and because I made that page public. And I
And that's when you knew
realized,
you were onto something.
I was like, wait a second, there's something there because I actually enjoyed it. So I was like, what if I turned this into something a little bit more sustainable? Like, what if it turned into a gig, an actual gig? Because
Hmm.
then I was getting
Hmm.
approached by companies, to either promote their products or I was getting invited to host events. And I'm like, okay, so this could actually be, a thing. Um, So I created a YouTube page, and then I started sharing more of myself, and that started growing, and then on Instagram too. But yeah, that's how it all started. It was very organic, very just me being Cici, and people liked it. And I just kept giving people what they wanted.
That's amazing. Just being yourself on camera,
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
So, so with all this success, what do you think are the qualities that a content creator needs to become successful, to reach a level like you've obtained right now?
Oh, wow. I mean, not that it's huge. I'm nowhere near where I could be or where I even aspire to be. There's so many creators that I look up to, and their numbers are, you know, what I have is a fraction of what they got. But I would say, based on what I've observed in the last decade, is that you got to be number one consistent. And I know it's oversaid, like people say it over and over, but consistency is really big with social media. People got to see you, they got to know you're still there, because it's so fast. Like there's always the next viral person, the next viral video. So if you stay in people's faces, they remember you. That is definitely a key to success online. I would also say the passion for it, like the drive to actually create content. Because if you don't actually enjoy it and you just want it to be like a business, because it's a legit business opportunity. But if you treat it as such, you're going to get so tired very quickly. Like you'll probably burn out if you're just creating content, and you don't even have a passion for it. And last but not least, I would say always aiming to improve the quality of your content, not only in terms of what you're actually creating, but also the equipment that you use, the lighting that you use, always aiming to upgrade, just to keep up with the trends, essentially, because that's what the successful content creators are doing. You'll notice that maybe a year ago, they're using a certain type of camera or lighting, and it's nice and simple, kind of like you and I. But then the following year, if they've really put effort into it and they started gaining, a good amount of followers and attention, the quality goes up with them. Like the image is crisper, the lighting is brighter, the background is clearer. So aiming to always improve quality is also very important in my observation.
Okay,
Yeah.
so improving your equipment, consistency. Would you say you have a daily routine as a content creator?
I wouldn't call it daily because I'm a full-time mom. I'm a full-time employee. I do have a job. But I would say daily, maybe weekly. Weekly routine would be setting a time aside to not only come up with content ideas, writing them down, setting up a plan for the month, of, how many videos I want to have posted on YouTube, how many videos I want on Instagram, how many professional photos, which is what I'm working on. I want more professional photos. I don't have enough professional photos. It's just me acting a fool all the time. So I want to show a little bit more of a professional side to Cece. So just, having those things in my mind on a weekly basis, I would say is part of my routine, but also just keeping in touch with what's going on the internet. You got to also be on top of it. So I'm scrolling through Instagram on a daily basis for sure, scrolling on YouTube, but I actually enjoy it. So it goes back to what I was saying about passion and drive. Like you actually have to enjoy social media. And I love social media. I love seeing people connect. I love seeing people relate. Um, and I love to be entertained because I'm a damn fool myself. So just watching other people that I follow and maybe writing down some ideas if I'm inspired. If it's like a reel or a TikTok, then sometimes I'll even create a draft then and there. I'll start recording looking a mess, but then I'll put a note saying, "Hey, recreate this when you actually look proper." So and saving it in my draft because I never post immediately. Like even if I shoot professionally, I'll schedule it. I'll save it in my draft and schedule it later. That's also a really great tip. Shoot, I should get paid
Okay.
for this. This is a great tip for content creators. Don't post right away. I mean, you could, but the trick to staying consistent is to keep it in a draft and slowly release them so that you always have something to put out. And you can
Always something
pause.
in the
Yeah,
can.
I have a quote on my desk that I live by. Pause if you must, but don't stop. So I've paused for like a good 3 weeks now because I needed it. It's important to know when to pause, but don't stop. Just get back at it. And so even in the midst of my pausing, I'll have stuff added to my drafts, and then slowly I'll pick from that draft and release.
So, reaching the level of success that you've reached in this space, did you have someone that you look up to,
Of course.
you know? So,
Absolutely.
who can you name a few of them?
I can give you a few. Yeah, there's Shameless Maya, who is an OG on YouTube. Our content is not very similar. Like I'm a goof, but I also create makeup videos and beauty videos on YouTube, and I also do like deep conversation. I have a show. We could call it a show, the Big Sis Chat. So I aim to um, speak from the heart to women who not only are my age, but also much younger. So young girls, and as a big sister. So Shameless Maya did a lot of those videos back then. She's slowly kind of, drifting away and focusing more on motherhood and her husband and whatnot. But as a single
Hmm.
woman, the stuff that she used to do, I was like, oh my God, she's goals. So Shameless Maya is a big one. I would say all the other great Black content creators on YouTube, like Jackie Aina, Makeup Shayla, there's Shan Booty, who's a sex and intimacy expert on YouTube. She also
Hmm.
has quality content, and I've noticed the growth of the quality of her content over time. Like she started out
Okay.
with maybe shooting maybe on her phone or just a simple camera, and now she's got a full on area in her home, like borderline a studio with
A
professional
studio.
lights, mics, and everything. So you could just see the growth over the years, and yeah, I aspire to do that for sure.
So you just spoke about black content creators. Did you face, you know me, I like to speak about diversity and inclusion. What are the challenges, or have you faced any challenges as a black content creator?
I wouldn't say I faced it myself, but I definitely see that in the industry or in this space, you know, visible minorities are still pushing to have a, a seat at the table with the big companies. Because at the end of the day, content creation is marketing. It's marketing. You're marketing yourself as a brand. And if you turn it into a business, that's when other companies reach out to you, and then you represent their product and you sell it on their behalf and you get a cut. That's affiliate marketing. So if you turn it into a business that way, that's when you can run into certain walls, because companies are still learning, or still failing at learning to include other people than the people that look like them, right? And so in the makeup space, for instance, it took years and years and years, even with having people like Jackie Aina, who has millions and millions of followers on YouTube. It took her a while to have a seat at the table with some of the big companies. And she's been very vocal about the need for even different shades of foundation, like having darker shades. How simple is that? It's like we're not asking for much. We just want our skin tones, So for something like that, imagine like you walk into a Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada or a Walgreens in the state, and you're just trying to find makeup for your skin tone, and you're looking at the shades. It's 70 different shades of white, but you don't see yourself in that kind of product where you just want to put something on your face and look proper. But
Are you saying they don't care about us?
they didn't care about us for a long time. And it took people on social media, like those content creators, to speak up and say out loud, hey, you have 40 shades and none of them match me. There's a problem, because I'm also a customer, or I could be a customer. So um, those are the challenges that in the beauty industry that women have faced a lot, women of color, but it's slowly improving, especially when you have more, I would say, Black owned beauty companies entering the space. They, of course, take us into consideration because they're us. Like Rihanna, when she started Fenty Beauty, that total, I think it opened a lot of eyes. The big brands, they saw how successful Fenty Beauty was from the get-go. And she
There's
has,
a market.
oh God,
There's
they noticed that there's a market. Maybe they didn't think they could make money with black people because, you know, but we're there and we're here to stay. And we need makeup because we like to look good too.
yes, we
I
do.
think she showed companies that, hey, not only is there a market, but you can make severe amounts of money when you cater to the people that buy your stuff. So we're part of those people. We buy when we didn't have foundation, we still use the mascara, we use the blush, we use the this and that. But now that we can have actual foundation, they see the numbers and they're like, oh, okay, there's something there. So it took a lot of content creators to be loud and proud for companies to open their eyes. So I think those walls are slowly coming down. Um, and you'll notice that like inclusive, it's like the catchword nowadays for all these companies. They all want to be inclusive. And even in like fashion, the plus size, even the smaller sizes, some women are not necessarily fully curvy. They don't wear size 4, some wear below 0, and they got to be included too. So
Hmm.
yeah, I would say those are the walls that are still coming down. But personally, I haven't faced too much because that's one of the main reasons I love social media. Is because social media has no color. Social media has no race. It's all about connecting. And the people that you cater to will find you and you will find them. Because it's you and I at the end of the day. What's between
That's
us is
it.
just a phone. There's no middleman really. People will say the algorithm, but I think the algorithm pushes what people want to see. So if you interact a lot with people who don't look like you, that's all you're going to see. But if you take the time to actually see what your people do, you'll see more of that, and the algorithm will keep sending it your way.
Hmm.
Black people go viral all the day, all the time, every single day. So
Hmm.
I don't say the algorithm favors one over the other. It's about what you want to watch. This is what the algorithm will serve you. So I think the more we support each other, the more we share each other's content, there's no reason why we can't be successful in this space.
Okay. So, talking about success, what do you need to create good content? What are three major components that you would advise newcomers or, people in this space?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it is those qualities that we talked about earlier, the passion, the drive, the consistency, and the quality. So those really are the three things for me. And I would also say, in terms of content itself, um, I have I would say, this guide that I've created in my head of what type of content tends to go viral. So the acronym I use is REST, REST. So R for highly relatable, E is highly entertaining, S is highly shocking, or T, highly touching.
Oh,
So those four
okay.
to me, in my last 10 years of doing this, because I also manage social media accounts for
Yes.
individuals or businesses, and I've noticed these four types of content, especially if you have an element of all four in one video or one piece of content, like the chances of doing well is all the way up there. But you also want to know what people want from you, because we all have something unique to bring to the table. We're all different. We have different DNAs. So what you bring is automatically different than someone else's because it's you, because it's from you. If you bring yourself to it. If you don't, and you're being robotic and you just put out content for the sake of it, people can't connect
Hmm.
with that. It's all about energies. If you're yourself and you're genuine in what you're doing, authenticity is huge. If anything, I would add authenticity to that to that list. Authentic is big seller nowadays. They say sex sells. With social media these days, authenticity sells.
Authenticity.
Authenticity sells. If
I
you're
hear you.
real about what you go through in life, your day to day, your experience as, let's say, a black man, married in Canada, whatever the case is. Like for me as a single mom, black Haitian, speaking more
Hmm.
than three languages. Like my last reel on Instagram, I did not expect that to do so well, but I just so happened to show me speaking three languages, being stuck in traffic, pissed off at this guy trying to cut me off in three different
Yeah, I saw that
languages.
one.
So many people related. They're like, "Oh my God, that's me!" it just shows you like being relatable is huge because people see themselves in you and they're like, oh my God, I thought I was the only
I
one.
was the,
Yeah. And I think that type of content is gold, is gold.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Those are great tips. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. So listen, last question I have for you is, we can't just not talk about those last 2 years. As COVID, as a content creator, what was it like for you during this pandemic? Was it, were you able to get more motivation? Were you able to create, to be more creative, or was it a difficult time?
Man, it was a challenge. So part of it was, I'd say, like a lot of pressure, just knowing that it was a great opportunity to create a whole lot of content and blow up, which people have taken. They took that opportunity and ran with it. But when you're an empath like me and you just absorb the energies of people around you or just the situation of the world, it's like it was just so heavy for me to carry and at the same time create content and just be productive, right? So it was an incredible opportunity to throw yourself into social media and blow up as a content creator because everybody was on their phone. Everybody was tuned in because they didn't
Hmm.
have much else to do. People were working from home. People were nervous and scared. So you turn to social media for, for some relief.
Entertainment.
Of course,
Hmm.
for entertainment, inspiration, whatever the case is. So it would have been a grand opportunity if I took it that way. But again, like I was juggling between both. It's like create content, CC, this is the perfect time. But at the same time, oh my God, what kind of freaky movie are we in? It was insane. So I would say the first half of the pandemic, I tried to create content and be productive, but looking back, when I look at these videos, I'm like, I wasn't all the way there. Like
No.
mentally, emotionally, not all the way there. I was suffering inside. I'm like, our world is upside down right now. And then the last half, when we started having a little bit more hope, you could see the switch in my content. Like I'm being a little bit more myself. I'm being silly again. I'm having fun. Um, that's how it personally affected me. But I know others who really took it by the horns and just created, pumped out good content, and you could see the growth. Like it was all the way up. Because
Yeah.
again, people were on their phones. The audience was there, and they were paying attention. But I was balancing both, and it was a lot. It
It
was a
was
lot.
difficult, huh?
Yeah.
So what can we expect the next 2 years? What are you working on?
Okay. I would say definitely more quality. I'm aiming to, take it up a notch. But I'm really learning what my audience wants from me. And again, going back
Hmm.
to being unique and authentic, I'm looking at my trends, I'm looking at my stats, my analytics, and I'm noticing the kind of content that people really connect with and what they want from me specifically, right? So focusing on that, but also I'm thinking of a web series for Marie Simone. So this is something that, yeah, people could expect to see in the next couple of years. I won't say more.
That
I
is,
won't say much more.
that's right.
Yeah,
You'll give me the scoop, maybe.
I will. I'll let you know aside.
Listen, that is amazing. Listen, I wish you continued success. Once again, I'd like to thank you for taking time, to chat about your success in the social media
Thank
space.
you.
And we'll keep watching and
Thank
laughing.
you. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. So listen, this is it. We'll talk very soon. I encourage all of you to subscribe, like, and look at the content that Cici Moya is doing, is creating, and we'll see you next
And
time.
I'll welcome you in this space too. Congratulations on your show.
Thank you very much. Following great examples of great leaders.
You're doing well. This is great.
Thank you very much. So, we learn today and tomorrow we lead.
I like that.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.